Hey everybody, your humble host for the review, Tekking101 here. Here to kind of post an advisory of somewhat over this review. It's going to be strictly 18+. So, for all you kids out there that are going to watch this anyway because it's fucking YouTube, let me just give a warning. It's going to get moist. Oh, I'm going to go to jail after this. Hey everybody, Tekking101 here to review a very early chapter this week. I was up for about 4 hours this morning when all of a sudden somebody just said, Tekking, you need to read the chapter. I'm like, oh god, please don't tell me, and I click it on. I'm like, oh my god, it's out! You don't know me. Like, on Wednesdays, I have it down to a freaking science. Like, from the moment I wake up, I'm in review mode. I'm like running around my room. I'm like trying to think of stuff to say. I'm downloading shit off the internet, trying to put it all into like haphazardly piece it together in something that resembles comedy. And finding out that I was like 4 hours delayed on that just blew my freaking mind. But regardless, here we are with the Bleach chapter 589 review entitled The Shooting Star Project, The Old and the New Trust. And, I'm kind of disappointed. We broke away from the Headless Star. I thought we were going to do a whole different string of those, but hey, we made it to 7. That's more so than Kubo usually does. Not quite a, after the rain sort of deal, but we're almost there. Also, I mentioned in the last video, since, no, not the last one before that, the whole Uehara thing of how, they're going to go back to the Soul Palace, so they might have to go to Kukaku's house again, therefore we might have a Shooting Star Project number 3. We didn't get number 3 exactly, but we did get another Shooting Star Project, so, call it whatever, jig. Alright, so chapter starts off in the basement of the 12th Division, where we have Ichigo, Chad, and Orihime kind of sitting in this massive cannon-like structure there, but it has like a viewing window. I don't know if it's like a piece of glass they're staring at it through, or if it's like the door that Uehara just hasn't closed yet, but it's basically an exact replica of the Kukaku Shiba's flower crane cannon, essentially, and Ichigo's questioning, like, how long has this been down here in the basement of the 12th Division? And Uehara states that actually it was just recently created by Mayuri after the Zero Squad first landed back in chapter 517, so there we go. It's probably less than just a couple days since that event occurred, and we already have like almost an exact replica of the cannon at the base, like a functional version of it, in the basement of 12th Division. So Mayuri's freaking like, geez, I mean, we always knew the guy was pretty good. I mean, he was able to, completely replace every organ in his body in just like an hour when he was fighting against Ciao. So the guy gets stuff done. And Ichigo even brings that up. It's like, wow, that guy's pretty impressive. Uehara's troll comment response to this is just like, oh yeah, he's a genius. Fucking better though. He just had, you don't see his face, but he just has a smirk, like, I'm better than him. He's like, he's good, but I could beat his ass any day of the week. I freaking could. So, it's them and the odd couple. Dun 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 dun. He brings up that this is not even close to being a perfect replica outside of just the appearance. You see, the Kukaku's flower crane cannon was essentially made using their clan, the Shiba clan's, secret technique. And Kubo doesn't go into huge elaboration exactly what that entails, but he says, like, this is basically just a cheap replica. I can fire you up one time, and then the whole thing's going to collapse after that. It's like a one-off, and right now we don't even have enough power to, to actually shoot you up in the sky. So, it's a far cry from the real thing, but they were able to get close enough, Also, I want to bring up something I mentioned way back in chapter 518 about the Shibas, and this is regarding the actual existence of the flower crane cannon itself. Like, why does Kukaku live out in the middle of the boonies of the Rukongai and just have this freaking thing out there? I mean, they used to be a noble family. What purpose could this giant fuck-off cannon serve? Because, Ichigo and the group used it to invade the Soul Society, but that can't be what it was for. So my idea is that the Zero Squad, or maybe even the Soul King himself, or herself, or itself, or whatever the hell that thing's gonna, later turn out to be, actually issued that the Shiba clan's whole purpose of existence, maybe the whole reason they were a noble family to begin with, is to manage this cannon structure in case anyone needs to go up to the Soul Society, or better, when the Zero Squad comes down, they have a way of returning. That was their one job, and that's why this cannon exists. So, that makes sense for a lot of things, why the Shibas would be considered nobles and everything, and, I honestly was just expecting them just just to go to freaking Kukaku's place again. I mean, what was stopping them? I mean, I know they were in the Vandente. Maybe there's not a way they can get out now. But, I was thinking this would have been perfect. We could have gotten a, update on the Fullbringers and Ganju, and maybe Ganju and the Fullbringers could have went with them, and they could just all shot off in the Crane Cannon itself. But instead, we're here in the 12th Division. But anyway, after Uehara explains all the technical jargon, we have Akon entering the room and stating that the person he mentioned, Uehara has mentioned, will be returning after her completing her tasks soon. Yeah, so Akon's alive. If you're wondering why I'm bringing this up, because some of you may have forgotten that he might have died back in chapter 512 when he got, the knives in the back. And, speaking of that, we don't seem to know a lot about Sternritter Shaz Domino, but we do know that he apparently sucks at killing things because, he had a clear shot at Akon, just like riddling him with those freaking Ryatsu knives or whatever the hell he had, and the guy's still around, so whatever, Shaz. I'm hoping you get some kind of, I think you're dead right now, but maybe you'll get turned into a zombie or something. Maybe we'll get to see something of what you could do. Maybe that's the plan Kubo's, laying out for everybody. All the Sterners that got one shot at, like, Bernice Gabriele, Jerome Geisbat, Lloyd, maybe, Gaselle's just gonna do the zombie and just resurrect them all. And that's what we're gonna do. That would have been actually pretty neat. So, while Uehara is discussing these matters with Akon, we cut back inside the canon where Ichigo, Chad, and Orihime are discussing matters. Now, I would assume since, Chad and Orihime have been training in Hueco they've gotten a lot better at what they're doing. Ichigo's trained at the Soul Palace. They know who the enemy is. They know Uryu is part of them. They're now going to take this brief moment of peace on the battlefield to kind of collect themselves, gather what information they've had, and maybe come out with some kind of tactical, way to take out Yuha and Hashwaltz once they actually invade the Soul Palace. They need to have a plan here, right? They just can't go in and start beating everybody up. No, they're just going to talk about Orihime's tits. So, hey, Ichigo, so did you notice? Oh, what's that, Chad? Inoue's, new outfit? Yeah, that's, quite an outfit she's got there. So, Orihime immediately, gets blushed when Ichigo kind of just starts gawking at her chest, and I'm just like, what did Orihime expect Ichigo to say to her? Chad's just like, what'd you think of her clothes, man? Did Orihime think Ichigo's gonna stare at her and just be like, oh man, Orihime, that's some nice fabric right there. What is that, like a 300-400 thread count? I don't even know sewing, but that is freaking awesome right there. Too bad Uryu is in the Soul Palace right now. He would totally dig that outfit. What the fuck do you think Ichigo's gonna look at, So, he's just staring down at her chest and basically just says, it's a little bit too revealing, to which Orihime begins spazzing out thinking, oh my god, he thinks I'm a hentai, he thinks I'm an exhibitionist, oh my god, no. So Orihime starts, frantically trying to explain to Ichigo, like, no, you don't understand, it's like, I didn't wear this because I wanted to, I'm not in a hentai. Oh, no, Orihime, no. You're not in a hentai, no. See, what you would be classified right now, in my opinion, would be ecchi, and I wouldn't be too worried about that, because if you've ever read Fairy Tail, yeah, like, half the stuff Lucy wears in that comic makes you out to be like a freaking nun right now. A manga, not comic, sorry, but, yeah, hentai, no. That's when, you go all balls to the wall, freaking you, Boku no Pico, Long Dong Silvers. We apologize for the inconvenience, but the YouTube police have determined that this review is in violation of rule number 69, subsection Z, stating that there shall be no references to hentai or Boku no Pico on YouTube henceforth. To compensate for this, we now bring you a very special and G-rated episode of Learning How to Ballroom Dance with Law Tekking101. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I am your humble host, Law Tekking. Now, today on the show, we're going to be covering, in my personal opinion, the quintessential of all the ballroom dances, and that is, of course, the waltz. Now, the thing about the waltz when you're performing it is you want to basically envision a square or a box around you and your partner. In fact, one of the most basic steps of the waltz is referred to as the left box. So, basically, imagine yourself and your partner just gliding across the edges of the box and making the left step on the corners. That's basically where we're going with this. So to start off, we're going to take a simple pose. Freaking smut they put on TV these days, I tell you. Alright, so Orihime basically states that the one who gave her that outfit to begin with was, in fact, Uehara. So my whole, comment about, it looks like something Master Roshi would design to give to her, not very far off, because I think we already kind of assumed that Uehara was a bit of a perv behind the scenes, or in front of the scenes, depending on how you would look at it, his relationship with Yoruichi. Whatever.
And come on, we all know Orihime wants Ichigo's dick.
Yeah, so he basically designed this, gave it to her. Still don't really know where he got the fabric to make it, or if he just had this on him at all times, but, you know, actually that wouldn't be a far cry from that either. And he even states to Orihime, who she's trying to cover herself up, trying to cover up her cleavage, and Orihime's just like, you know, if you cover the middle, the sides are gonna spill out, and then Orihime has a very difficult decision that all teenage girls with over triple D boobs have to make at some point. Anyway, this gets interrupted by, stranger danger! I don't freaking know. A hand just appears beneath Orihime's boobs, and it turns out that it's in fact Yoruichi motherfucking Shihoin. Oh! What is that? What is that? Seriously, like chapter 402, 403, it was like at the beginning of the Deicides, like the last time we saw her. I was in high school the last time I saw her in canon. Holy shit. Okay. Well, don't worry, guys. Because I am the great, you know, Bleach reviewer that I am, I actually have published a series of novels in the form of a binder stating exactly what to do in the situations of, you know, characters showing back up here. In Tekking101's Guide to the Bleach Plot Twist, Volume 23. So let's see what we got in here. Let's see, we got, okay, Grimjow returning, well, that'll be. Let's see here, Kon is the Soul King, Ichigo Rukia sex scene, I'm just gonna, you know, bookmark that, actually, for later. Okay, here we go. Yoruichi Shihoin returning to the plot. Alright, what the fuck is a lunar spiral? Okay, 3, 2, oh, okay, not sure exactly how that's gonna work, but, alright, I think we, kind of just do this, and, It's Yoruichi showing time! Yoruichi showing time! Where are you at? Where are you at? Yo, where it go? Where it go? Oh, okay, so, yeah, logistical question. Did she just appear out of Orihime's boobs? Because where did she come from? I mean, really, like, Urahara and Akon were talking like, oh, this girl that, you know, had a task to do, she's here, but we didn't, like, see her enter the room. But, you know, even if she did enter the control room, that's kind of beside the point, because Ichigo and the friends are, like, in an enclosed space. Like, probably, like, the size of this studio right now. It's kind of hard to not notice some random person stepping into the thing, so where the hell did she come from? Anyway, she basically berates Ichigo, because as we all know, Yoruichi is somebody who is not very, she's not very, reserved about her own body, you know? She will, you know, wear it out and proud for everybody to see, and she's basically chastising Ichigo because when asked about Orihime's outfit, he just basically started gawking and just basically sputtering off nonsense. Like, I think it's a bit too revealing. You know, Yoruichi's like, you should have complimented her or flirted with her. Come on, it's so obvious that Kubo's gonna put you guys together by the end of the series. Although some would disagree with that, but that's beside the point right now. We have to move on. Anyway, Yoruichi takes her clothes off. Don't just do that out of nowhere, Yoruichi. I know you're kind of wearing a bodysuit right now. I think that's what that is. I don't know. I'm not seeing any, you know, what? Okay, I know what the title of this video is going to be. It's going to be Tekking101, Bleach Chapter number 589 review. Fan service time number 3. I just know right away that's what it's going to be. Anyway, she reveals a bunch of flasks of something in her cloak, and, well, it turns out we get a reference back to the spatial distortions that's been going on in Karakura Town. You know, the ones happening, like, at the beginning of the arc where we see Hiyori walking home and she saw the little rift in the space-time continuum. Apparently, that was caused by the Quincy's. I don't know if that was, like, them doing it, you know, when they were killing the Hollows. I think that's what it is, because they mentioned if, you know, the Hollows and the souls get unbalanced, the worlds basically begin to blend together. And anyway, that created this rift in the space-time continuum, and this massive amount of energy basically comes from the portals when they open and when they close. So I'm assuming these have just been blipping in and out of existence in Karakura Town. Like, they haven't, like, been staying in one spot. They just, like, rip open, then close, and a lot of energy is expelled when that happens. Now, Urahara hypothesizes that the Quincy's did this so that they would basically distract the Soul Society. So the Soul Society would basically divide their forces. You know, it's like, oh, you go figure out what's going on with the spatial distortion, you go figure out, you know, you wouldn't deal with the invasion. And to an extent, that's kind of what happened, because Shinji was the one who said for Hiyori and the visors that are in the world of the living to go and investigate the gaps in the space-time continuum, and Yoruichi was the one that was working with them. Okay, we got that all tied back, sort of, kind of. Still curious exactly where the visors are right now, but we got an explanation of at least what Yoruichi's been doing and what the visors have been doing this entire time. They've been researching and basically collecting energy energy from these rips in the space-time continuum, and that's what's inside these vials here. Basically, the energy that's going to fuel the cannon to send Ichigo and the group up to the Soul Palace. I don't know if that makes Kubo, like, the best, you know, like he's, like, plans this all from the beginning, like, as a, you know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna throw in these space-time continuums. Oh, I don't know what to do with them. Okay, they're energy for the cannon, or I don't know if he was gonna do something else with them altogether, but, you know, whatever. I guess it kind of works. I was expecting some weird, like, something much bigger than just, you know, them be, like, the, basically the rifts being an energy source. I was expecting way more than that, but, okay, so with that being said, I guess Ichigo and the group are ready to shoot off to the Soul Society, to which we cut back to the last scene of the chapter, where we continue with Guel versus Ikaku and Yumechika. Now, big, huge revelation here that, you know, I've been curious about is whether or not the Stern Ritter that has been revived will be able to use the power as they were when they were alive. In Bambietta's case, would she still be able to use the Explode power? And the answer is yes, she can use the Explode still. And, you know, like, Ikaku and Yumechika are constantly dodging her blasts, and Ikaku's just like, oh man, shit, you know, she has an unlimited supply of those bombs. So, basically the exact line of questioning that Komamura was doing when he was fighting her. But Yumechika, he figures this crap out, like, immediately. He's like, wait a second, no, it's not actually she's shooting off explosives. Everything that her Reishi is coming in contact with is connecting and exploding. So, well, what the fuck, Yumechika? Is he, like, the best tactician in the entire freaking Soul Society? Because he's, like, dead on with every single one of these explanations. Like, he notices a Stern Ritter's power for, like, less than a couple minutes, and he figures this shit out. Where was he at the entire battle? Seriously. So, Yukaku just charges right in, tries to attack her. Meanwhile, Yumechika uses Hado number 57. Oh, that's a new one. Dachi no Tenyo, which basically creates a bunch of earth, you know, pillars. Basically, the debris or rubble around the battlefield to be tossed at Bambietta, kind of as, like, distractions or cover fire, essentially. Wait a second, Yumechika's 11th Division. Isn't he supposed to not use Kido? I mean, I know he can do it. I know he can do it because his Zanpakuto is, you know, Kido-based, but I thought there was always a big stigma in the 11th Division, like, you can't use Kido or else you'll be seen as weak. But, you know, I guess it's the invasion of the Soul Society. I guess Yumechika is one of the more level-headed ones, like, hey, shit, if I can do it, I'm gonna do it, screw whatever. Maybe, you know, that kind of mentality will rub off on Ikaku, and he'll be able to actually use his Bankai in this battle. But, anyway, yeah, so with the cover fire in hand, Ikaku manages to get in close to Bambietta. Hey, do you need a Tylenol? Because it looks like you have a splitting headache. I've never been good with pickup lines. Oh my god, Yumechika, you do not interrupt a guy when he's getting a hand job. Seriously, that is like Article 1 of the Bro Code, man. Even though Yumechika did free Ikaku from Bambietta, they're still right in freaking front of her, so she just launches a point-blank explosion. I guess she wouldn't really care about damaging herself at this point, or about the explosion being backfired like it happened against Komamura, because how Koma defeated her was that the Tokujo Tengen Mio Dongaijo actually rejected the explosion back into her, which caused her to explode, which I guess in this situation, obviously Bambietta's a zombie. I don't know if she could heal wounds, like I don't know if the wound in her head's gonna heal up or whatever, but anyway, you know, launches a big explosion which knocks Yumechika and Ikaku down to the ground. And while they're lying on the ground, beaten and broken, Giselle is relaying exactly what her power does. We kind of already knew most of this stuff that she tells Yumechika and Ikaku, but she just basically reiterates it. When talking about Shinigami, it's really simple. All she has to do is just get her blood on them, and then they become her zombie slaves. However, Quincy's are different. They can only be manipulated if they die first. So, going back to the whole thing with Bambietta, and at the end of chapter 557, when she's blown out to hell, and she's sitting on the ground there, and, you know, Giselle's leaning over her, and Bambi's like, freaking stop, don't do it. I was right. Bambietta was fucking killed by Giselle. She had to deliver the killing blow in order to make Bambietta a zombie. And I'm just gonna paraphrase Giselle here. Bambi-chan's expression at that very moment, I got so moist. Man, that's good gum. Yeah. Dude, I totally have the weirdest boner right now. Okay, well, you can pretty much just derail this entire review right now because what the fuck am I supposed to add to this? Even the wall, even Yama ain't got time for that. Yama don't care, you know, like, whatever. Oh man. Alright, you know, okay, first let's just finish the chapter. There's not much left. Okay, so after that line of dialogue, which basically confirms that she is in fact a guy. In fact, the little translator note even says, you know, she's using Boku here, basically confirming that he is a guy. Yumechika's like, oh, don't you mean that you meant to put it, you got an erection or you popped a boner, basically. You know, you're in your love muscle there. Well, And Giselle just basically looks down and basically like reiterates the whole thing about how Shinigami are easily manipulated. When all this is going on, a big bright in the sky, shoots out, and then appearing there is none other than Mayuri Kurotsuchi, who states, "You have definitely piqued my interest and able to create turn your opponents into zombies, my girl." Now I know that's the way Mayuri said it, but really I think that what Giselle said could be adapted to Mayuri here too. He basically got, yeah, you know where that's going. And Giselle basically just looks at him with a very, nonchalant, like, kind of like halfway creepy face and just like, "It's so bright, I can't see you. Who might you be now?" That's how the chapter ends. So, I don't know what to do with this one. With this chapter, it felt like, it's like sometimes I really wonder if Kubo has like a split personality, where he's, he's sitting at his drawing table, his drafting table, drawing this, and, it's like two voices in his head constantly, just like, okay, so in this chapter, I think we're going to elaborate a little bit more on how that space-time rift, affects the world of the living. No, Noriake, we need to draw Orihime's awesome flesh melons. No, Taito, no, we can't do it. No, but you must draw them. You must draw them in so much great detail. No, Taito, I mustn't. I must keep to the story. The people want the plot of the story. No, fuck the story, Noriake. They want fan service. They want luscious flesh melons and fan service. Okay, fine, Taito, I'll give in to the madness, I'll draw them. Yes, Noriake, you will draw them for as long as the series continues. Oh, and, by the way, could you also somehow work in that Ichirukia wedding scene at the end of the series? That'd be so great. Well, actually, no, that's not the way I was going to go with it. There can only be one. Alright, so, basically all I really have to discuss here is just Giselle versus Mayuri and how that's going to work out, because, we didn't really get much more elaboration on Ichigo and the group. I mean, they're going to be heading to the Soul Palace, and we know why now, and Yoruichi's back, and that's just so freaking awesome. In terms of Mayuri versus Giselle, I'm not really 100% sure how that's going to work. I mean, he obviously has this all figured out for the Quincy Shadows, so maybe any of the tricks that, as for Mayuri, I mean, obviously he's interested in the opponents that have the weird ability, and I guess Giselle is the one with the weirdest in that group. I always figured that she was going to be important because, Z, last letter in the alphabet, something's going to be important with her. She's going to be a game changer in some regards. So, it might be the case where she revives all the other dead Stern Ridders and, Mayuri's trying to figure out her ability. Maybe he's going to explain it in greater detail how it functions, and maybe he says, oh, well, if I kill you, all the other zombies die. Other than that, they're just invincible, monsters. So, in terms of that, I really don't know what Mayuri has up his sleeve. I don't think he's going to resort to his standard Zanpakuto. He's probably going to pull out some, special weapon that maybe Urahara designed. Well, I don't know if he would be using anything that Urahara designed, but something he designed to help combat the Quincy's in some regard. I mean, with his light, he obviously, Giselle wouldn't be able to do any of the shadow stuff, but, Giselle hasn't really done the shadow things anyway. In fact, the only ones that have done that are, I think, Colonel Sanders and Hashwolf. My wall is falling apart here. Just the structure of this review is just hit rock bottom. So, you know what? I'm going to be ending that right here. That's that, I guess. You have fun, Giselle, with your, creepy necrophilia fetish you have going on there. And, yeah, Tekking101 signing out. Hey everybody, Tekking here. Despite the theme of the review the entire time, I kind of wish maybe it would have been something, because the kind of jokes that I was making in their video, and now I'm here to actually talk about you with something serious. It's maybe a little bit jarring, but just follow me on this. A couple days ago, I got a message on my fan page from a fan of mine. His name is Chris, and he was basically telling me a story about how his little brother, who had cancer since a very young age, since he was about 13 years old. They were both fans of my videos, and his brother actually passed away rather recently, and he basically just asked me if I could, mention him in my video. And it's one of those things where I was reading that, and I was getting kind of emotional, because I'm just like, this, I'm glad that I was a good enough entertainer that, this kid, his name was Mike. He's like, after he got back from the doctors, we'd sit back and watch your videos, and we'd laugh, and he just like, whatever, like just the fact that I could give him just a small amount of entertainment in his time of need, when he was going through all this, and it just really reaffirms why I do this, why I'm here doing this, just to entertain you guys. It's not about the money, it's not about fame or anything. It's just about if I have people out there that are having a really bad day, or they're going through like really difficult stuff in their life, And if just watching my videos is enough to kind of make them forget about that, or make it feel like, you know, it's like, oh, I'm just going to sit here and laugh for, you know, 15 to 20 minutes, that's what I'm here for, okay? So, you know, my thoughts go out to Chris and his family in this troubling time. You know, I lost my grandfather last year to lung cancer. I mean, I don't have any siblings myself, so I really don't know exactly what he's going to, but I have dealt with cancer in my family. My aunt was just recently diagnosed with leukemia. So it's around, and it tears people apart. But yeah, so rest easy, Mike, and thank you for being a fan. And I was honored to have you just find my material entertaining. It's very humbling. So I will dedicate this review to you. Tekking101, signing out.